What's going on YouTube? CDA Green here, back with another video, and today we have Unavoidable Male Canon Events by OneCloud9. Now, I feel like the term canon event, it just means that it's a shared experience between young men. You know what I'm saying? Something that we all inevitably go through. They feel like they hurt in the moment. You're like, man, why are these things happening to me? But hey, it's just something you got to go through to learn the game, bro. Many of the things in life, the lessons, the losses you take can be turned into lessons, right? Don't wallow in them. Don't be upset because you took the loss, because losses are inevitable. It's just about how you get back up, right? I just heard a quote, you know what I'm saying? I was looking for like tattoo inspirations and stuff like that, and it said, fall down 6, get up 7, though. Fall down 6 times, get up 7. And that's hard, because that's just to say, you're not going to keep me down. I'm going to keep going up. I'm going to keep ascending. I'm going to keep moving forward. You know what I'm saying? That's just the way to go. Now, these canon events, they do feel quite tragic, though. On the other hand, right? You're like, man, bro, this is tough, bro. Like, am I really supposed to be going through this? Like, this is actually tough. Like, I'm ready to crash out. You know what I'm saying? I feel bad when these moments happen to me. But, you know, don't let them get you down, like we said. But without further ado, we're going to get into the video. You know what I'm saying? Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Appreciate y'all watching. Let's get straight to it.
Male canon events. First up, fumbling a 10 out of 10. You know, I'm not gonna lie, this is one of the worst ones in my opinion. Reason why we've all been through this. There's always been that one girl that you thought you had in the bag. I mean, she was fine, beautiful, gorgeous. I mean, in your mind, she goes band for band with SZA, Lotto, and Ruby Rose. Like, you feel me? If for some wild reason you think you actually have a chance with that girl, and you try to get her, and you're doing good, and then randomly one day she just goes. And for the rest of that week, you're just
Yep. I can't think of a girl that I would say is a 10 out of 10, because that's a very rare thing to find. And quite frankly, I don't know, when you look too good, I don't even want you. You know what I'm saying? You might say that's cope, but I don't know. I just don't really I don't really find that appealing when they too perfect. You know what I'm saying? You got to have a little bit of flaw to you. You know what I'm saying? You seem more authentic, more real, and I like that real. You know what I'm saying? Real spiel. But yeah, bro, I wouldn't think of any girl that I've been involved with as a 10 out of 10, but they pretty close to it. I say like 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10. Yeah, it's a few of them Jones, bro. I ain't gonna lie, I fumbled. I wouldn't even know if I fumbled, because was I even really in there? You know, it's a tough debate, but I know what he's trying to say. I know exactly what he's trying to say. Yeah.
Contemplating, scrolling through your text, looking at what you could possibly have done wrong. Thinking maybe she forgot about the text, maybe you said a weird joke, or just something random. Just whatever your brain can imagine for her to actually ghost you, because of course it's not just you. Well, nigga, hate to break it to you, she likes a guy and it's not you. Game is game. And the worst part about it is that oftentimes the next week she ends up hard launching with her new man. And when you see him, it's somebody you don't even think is better than you. Well, brother, hate to break it to you, but he is. And then when they eventually break up, you're gonna be right back on her feet begging for her to take you back. But before that, you will go through the I hate that bitch phase. After every man goes through a heartbreak, they always hate the girl for a little bit. It's inevitable, bro. Every single bad thing.
Now, with that hatred, you can do one of two things. You can either take that hatred as fuel and use it to do something better, like lift weights, work on yourself in another way, focus on school, focus on your craft, follow your dreams. Or you could throw all that hatred out the window and go right back. Be right back on her body at the slightest chance, the slightest opening, you could go right back. And that's what most people do. I ain't gonna lie. You know what I'm saying? I always do the self-improvement route, though. I ain't gonna lie, bro. I try to. All right? Because you can never be, you know what I'm saying? You can never stop improving, is what I will say. You know what I'm saying? It's always better that you can be. So constantly working on yourself, you put yourself in a less of a situation to be done dirty like you were in the past. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, just don't go back to kissing them boots, bro. No cap.
That you've noticed and garnered about her in the past couple of years, it just kind of comes flowing back into your brain in one rushing, angry moment until it eventually boils over and you realize you don't really hate her. You're just sad that she's gone. But you still go through the phase. Then you get sad and you're a little bit depressed and you're wondering why it didn't work out. Maybe you'll never find love again. Maybe something else won't happen. I don't know. You just stress. But usually you end up doing all of this stressing late at night, which leads you to the third male canon event, 3 a.m. motivational workout. I can speak
No
for all of
cap.
us. We've all been through. Whether it was a breakup or
Just
heartbreak.
start hitting push-ups on the floor, random and shit. Roll out the bed, it's like, start hitting like 10 pull-ups, all that motivation gone then. You know what I'm saying? You done. You right back out for the count.
Or maybe you just realize you're a bum. You went through that phase where you thought at 3 a.m. in the morning you was gonna change.
You could conquer the world.
You started doing
bro.
push-ups, started watching David Goggins videos. And you're up all night feeling motivated and thinking that you're finna rule the world. You're finna be the most swole, chiseled, drizzled, gizzled, diggled, fadiddled, top tier man that you can be. And then you wake up after you pass out on the floor from doing all of them push-ups. Look at your surroundings, realize your room is still dirty, and then eventually come to the realization that you'll never be that guy. But you know something else that can send you into this motivational arc? Canon event number 4, going bald. I promise you, every single person watching this video has gone through this phase, and most of the time it's because of your dad. Brother, I am gonna tell you right now, for the first 5 years of my life, I had to be completely butt naked Michael Jordan bald, because when my dad was 28, he stopped growing hair, and ever since that day he decided that
He just started hating. He said, son, if I gotta go through this, you gotta go through it as well. We in this together, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to see no hair on your head because I can't grow none myself. It's like, dang. Now luckily I never had that. It was really just, I don't know, the idea of being a kid, like when your hair grow out and it look too messy, you know what I'm saying? Especially when you're not getting haircuts that often, you know what I'm saying? Cutting it bald is just a safer bet because it stays presentable longer. You know what I'm saying? Now, does it look good? Debatable. Will it get you hoes? No, not at all. But then again, when you're young, is you really worried about hoes that much, bro?
he didn't want me to grow hair either. And it was the most aggravating thing.
It depends on who you is. I was very freaked out as a young lad. I still am.
Of my life, and I'm sure every single one of y'all went through that same thing. And the worst part about it is that after he allowed me to have hair, he only allowed my hair to get to a certain length, which is known as the bald phase, which most of us have gone through, especially black children. And the worst part about this is that
is actually crazy though, bro. You go from literally looking at how your arm looks, right, as a kid with no hair on that junk. Just the slightest bit of fuzz, bro. The slightest bit of fuzz, like say your armpit hair length. And it's like, oh, nope, right back to the barbershop. It's like, dang, I can't do nothing. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't even know if my hair could really grow. Got me out here looking like Krillin, bro. I bet y'all forgot Krillin could grow hair too, you know what I'm saying? Because he always keep that joint cut. But yeah, bro, that's hating. That's some hating stuff.
When I was growing up, the mohawk was very popular. It was during the LaMelo, Odell mohawk phase, and everybody and their mother wanted a mohawk. And I wanted that so bad, but no, I couldn't get it because my dad said, and I quote, if you get a mohawk, you have to walk around naked everywhere because the mohawk tribe did. Yeah, I don't know why that nigga said that. That was some fucked up shit. But basically, he was just trying to get me to be bald like him. So, hey, yeah, I guess it kind of worked. For a little bit.
That's tough.
Yeah, we got these. But something else
I thought I was tripping.
Made us do was help them around the house. And one thing that I know for sure that we all went through was our dads getting mad at us when we didn't hand them their tools fast enough. My brother in Christ, I have almost been shot, almost lost my life. Heck, I thought
I don't think I've been through this one. And my dad really do this. He a carpenter, you know what I'm saying? Other dads, they just kind of, you know, trying to do some handyman stuff around the crib, but not really built like that. You know what I'm saying? I feel like the more expertise you have, the more knowledge you know, the more patient you is. Or maybe that's just my dad, you know what I'm saying? Great man. I look up to that man a lot.
At AIDS at one point. But I have never been more scared in my life than when I used to help my dad do work around the crib. Because for some reason, dads just have a big fascination with doing mechanical work around the house. And while they're actively doing this act of stupidity, most likely messing up the whole house, they decide to exert their frustrations on their kid that they told them to help him. And my brother in Christ, I know every single person watching this video can relate. If you didn't hand your dad that tool as soon as he asked you to, or if you moved a tiny little bit when he asked you to shine the flashlight somewhere, the amount of anger and rage that man will exert onto your body would be scarier than meeting a polar bear in the Arctic who hasn't eaten for weeks. weeks. And honestly, I've experienced a lot of trauma from doing stuff like this. Like, the amount of trauma I've gone through from just holding tools is probably equivalent to the slaves back in the olden times. But after this, as a kid, you know, you can get pretty traumatized, scared, but also angry from what your father did. So angry that you even think about potentially fighting him. It would also be the worst mistake you ever made in your life, because he will beat your ass. Every single man in his life has thought about fighting his dad. I say fighting for a reason, because you will never beat him. I don't know
no cap, bro. No cap. When you getting beat up, bro, but you still getting mad, it's like with each hit, you like, ooh, nah, bro, you can't get this off on me, bro. But he can, though. Because what are you going to do? You're just going to get beat up even worse if you try, bro. You know what I'm saying? But that anger, though, that wrath, you know what I'm saying? You feel like you could conquer the world with that John, bro. No cap. You swing your hardest, that John feel like a teddy bear punch, though. Ain't do no damage, bro. Not very effective, like on some Pokemon stuff. Yeah, bro. Don't even try it.
But it is about fathers, but like, they will never lose to their son, period. Especially if it's fist. Like, you could be 6'5", 280. Matter of fact, you made John Jones call you his pappy. But as soon as you run into your 5'9" father, he will beat the living breaks out of you. And even though we all wanted to fight our father, we none of us have actually did it, because we knew the reality of that. I actually almost did it one time, and there's a reason why I said almost, because I realized very soon that I would get my ass absolutely plastered. And I love my life way too much to ever do that to myself. Once you realize that you can't possibly beat your father, you go from fight to flight. Which leads me to thing number 6. Running away. Every man has thought about running away from home. Brother, I cannot explain to you how many times.
I was ready to say, I thought he meant actually do the process of running away, which is some white people shit. Let's keep it a buck. Let's keep it a buck. But yeah, I've thought about it, but you know, it only goes so far. It's a reason it's only a thought, because niggas know they can't survive. You get hungry, bro, you trying to go right back to the crib. You get bored, the Wii, that joint's still in the living room. You want to play that joint, so you go right back home.
I thought about running away as a kid. The crazy part about it is I live in a 2-parent household, suburban home, live in Nashville, Tennessee, a predominantly white city. I live in the suburbs of the suburbs. You will see white people walking their dogs and kids playing in the street. I live a good life. I had a good childhood. I even went to private school. But for some reason, whenever my mom pissed me off or my dad did something I didn't want to like, I always thought about getting a big ass stick, a little red piece of cloth, tying it together, and putting all of the important stuff in my life, like the PS4, in the sack, and walking right out. I feel like this is a canon event, not just for guys. I feel like,
yo, if we thinking about it, bro, look how small that joint is, bro. Like, the priority that we would have had to have as kids, like, you probably got your controller in there to the game console, even though you don't have a console, so what's the point, right? You probably got that, maybe your favorite, you know what I'm saying, Capri Sun beverage, a snack, you know what I'm saying, maybe like a fidget spinner or some shit. I don't fucking know, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying, like, bro, how are you ever gonna survive just off those little things, man? Like, come on, who are we kidding as children?
Yeah. I feel like this is a canon event, not just for guys. I feel like it's everybody. We as men are the ones who are actually the closest to doing it. Because I'm not gonna lie, one time I literally started packing my bags because my mom pissed me off so much. And I was almost done doing it. I was so close to committing. And then I realized how badly my mom would beat my ass if I actually ran away. So I just stayed. And that's what usually happens, because it's never worth the beating, because they will find you. But usually that type of stuff would happen when you get grounded. And something else you would do when you're grounded is thing number 7, reading a Diary of Wimpy Kid book. I don't know why we all did this.
No cap, man. No cap. No bullshit, bro. I still got some of them Jones under my bed to this day, man. I had the red book, the dark blue book, the green book, the yellow book, the purple book, light blue book, brown book, green book, orange book. I had all of the books, bro, except this one right here. I don't think I ever had this one. But yeah, ask me what they were about. I don't know. I just know I read these joints, and they had this in the chokehold, bro, for real.
But we all read
whenever,
that book.
Bro, whenever that book fair will pull up and I get to see the new book, I'm like, hey, bro, we eating good. You know what I'm saying?
In our floor, whenever our parents took away our phones or our PS4s or whatever, like, it was just canon event to the fullest. And if you wasn't a guy, if you was a girl, you would probably read the Dork Diaries. I feel like guys also read the Big Nate books, stuff like that. It's just that Big same Nate, type of category genre. And I would always get those books at the Scholastic Book Fair too,
bro. No cap.
Whenever that boy Jeff Kenny cooked up a book, I ain't gonna lie, niggas was on their seats, on their toilet, locked into them joints. I'm not gonna lie. But something that's also tough though is number 8. Realizing you'll never go pro in the sport you love. You know, as
Yo, bro, that hit hard. I ain't gonna lie. I was in middle school, maybe around the time where I was like, that's when I was really locked into the basketball stuff. I got to high school, tried out for the team my sophomore year. Didn't make the cut, bro. The crazy thing is, I was watching a basketball anime the summer before. So when I was just getting done being a freshman going into the sophomore year, that summer I was playing ball every day. Cause I was watching Kuroko. I'm like, yo, I'm finna be, bro. I'm like, these niggas, bro. I'm one of the generation of miracles. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna make the team. I'm gonna show these niggas, bro, what this about. We going pro, man. We going pro. But shit set in. I ain't even gonna lie, bro. Like I said, back in middle school, that's when I took it more serious. I was solid back then. Niggas was just short as shit. You know what I'm saying? It can't be beat. I was like barely even 5 foot, bro, by the time I got to high school, I think. Or some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So I heard from a story way back, right? That Curry, he was also short in middle school, right? But he kind of had a growth spurt either in high school or in college. And I'm like, oh, I'm gonna be just like Curry. I'm gonna be 6'3" by the time I'm in high school, bro, and then things is all gonna go swell. Things did not go swell, bro. I'm 5'8". But I learned to love my life, right? Yeah, that's all you can do.
As a man, I feel like this is actually the most heartbreaking thing you can go through. Because yeah, fumbling a 10 out of 10 is bad, but there will always be more fish in the sea. With your sport though, you only really get one chance at this. And once you finally had that moment of realization that you will never go pro in your sport, whether it's basketball, football, it's truly one of the most heartbreaking things you can ever go through. I remember I was a big basketball player back in middle school, and when I got to high school, I thought it was gonna be the same thing. And then one random day, Darius Garland pulled up to my local gym, and I realized very quickly that NBA was never gonna be a reality. But I was delusional, so I thought, you know what, maybe if I really ball out my freshman year, I can get some looks. You know, I could really go crazy in a good route leading up to my senior year. Well, I was a JV bench player. And I was good too. I was averaging like 20 points a game, but the coaches just didn't mess with me. But then I thought, you know what, maybe the coaches are just, you feel me, purely hating on me, which they were. But then I thought, you know what, maybe I need to transfer somewhere to get more PT. Maybe that's what I really needed. And then I realized that I was never gonna grow past the height of 5'9". Yeah, I haven't grown since freshman year. So yeah, I'm basically trying to say I'm fried. But every man has to go through that phase to realize you're just a regular guy. Just because every motivational speaker tells you that you can do whatever you want in this life doesn't mean you actually can do it. I'm just keeping it real. Because I'm sorry, buddy, if you're 5'4" and you're trying to be an NBA basketball player in this economy, in this league, I'm gonna be honest,
you are not Muggsy Bogues, baby. Not at all, not in the slightest. Spud Webb, Muggsy Bogues, all them boys, bro, they one of a kind. Isaiah Thomas, another Isaiah Thomas, like, it's real hard to do, bro. You gotta be a different breed.
Have Wemby's playing point guard, bro. You're not Muggsy Bogues, bro. Another tough realization that we've all been through. Realizing that you're in the friend zone. And I don't care who you think you is. We've all been in this category. As a guy, we've all thought once, if we were a good enough friend to a girl, that she would eventually crack and decide to settle down with us. But another canon event that we've all been through is realizing that that's not how life works. As a matter of fact, she actually knows that you like her, yet she doesn't care, and she'll still use you for free car rides, free money, free food, and free attention. And this is one of the toughest realities we have to learn as a man, but every man has to go.
Bro, I know I'm talking a lot during this video, but I gotta get this off my chest. Junior year of high school, it was this one joint, right? I always thought she was attractive, even when I was a freshman, but I was kind of like, oh, nah, she not, I'm not in her league, bro. I can't even do nothing with that, bro. She bad as shit. And in high school, niggas was chopped. Niggas was chopped. So by the time junior year rolled around, we started getting similar classes. We had the same classes. We was talking about like schoolwork and stuff, because she was like in the top 10 of the class and I was in like the top 5, you know what I'm saying? So I was a little higher. So she was talking to me and stuff like in that regard, like, you know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, I'm trying to get my grades like you. Yeah. I'm like, yeah, nah, word, like, you go up there, but yeah, yeah, you know, I'm built different. I didn't say all that, but basically, yeah, that's really how we started getting familiar with each other. You know what I'm saying? We was both smart-ish. You know what I'm saying? So then, yeah, building off that, I slid into Snapchat. I had her Snapchat for some reason. And I'm like, yo, if you ever want to play iMessage games, yo, here's my number. Slide her the number, right? She sent me the iMessage game with the quickness. I'm like, all right, cool, we in there, right? So now we texting sometimes throughout the day. Most of the time she would leave me in the air. I ain't gonna lie. You know what I'm saying? But it felt good to be in the moment. I don't know why. I would always reach out first. Sometimes I didn't get a response after. And that's just how things went. But I still felt like things was going good. Because we would walk together in the hallways, you know what I'm saying? She would run up to me if I started walking ahead. Bro, she even pulled up on me one time and we played tennis together. Out of the blue, like on some random stuff. I'm like, oh, you came here to play with my boy? Because I think my boy invited her. She's like, oh, no, I want to play with you. I said, oh, shit. Like, what you mean by that? What you really mean by that? You know what I'm saying? But yeah, bro. None of that even mattered, bro. Like, she even offered me food. None of that even mattered, bro. Because on Valentine's Day, I tried to time it and be, you know what I'm saying, Mr. Romantic on some movie shit. It just didn't work out, bro. It didn't work. You know what I'm saying? I tried to get her to stay after school that day. She's like, no, I got to go home. So I had to text her that day. I'm like, I poured out my whole heart in a fucking paragraph through text, bro. I got the text back. She said, I just don't see you that way. Bro, I was going to hang out with my boys that day, bro. I seen that text. I said, man, bro, just take me home, man. Just take me home, bro. That shit destroyed me, bro. And that's the crazy thing. I really thought I was good. The signs was looking good, but I just wasn't that guy. You know what I'm saying? She had just got out of a breakup before I tried to spin. So yeah, I guess she wasn't fully over him. Maybe she just didn't see me that way. But yeah, bro, I thought I was in there and I was not. Got friend zoned with the absolute certainty.
I remember I was 13 and there was this girl I liked and she broke her foot. So I offered literally carry her around the school because we were just good friends. She actually ended up getting pregnant by another guy at 13, but that's a different story. But another pain that we all had to go through is going to the bathroom in a public setting and not knowing the urinal rule. And every single guy watching this video knows exactly what I'm talking about. I remember I was a kid, I was at my school, and it was like a student-teacher day or whatever, I don't know. And for some reason, the parents were on campus. And I walked into the bathroom, and there was a grown-ass man using the left urinal. And the middle and right one were open. And according to the urinal rule, if there are 3 urinals, you have to use the left, you have to use the right, and there's the center one, so only one available, you wait your turn. Unless they have blockers and binders where you don't gotta see another man's piece. But as a kid, I didn't know that, so I ended up using the middle one right beside him. And I remember to this day, the look that this man gave me was a look of absolute disgust. I'm not gonna lie. And as soon as he got done pissing, turned to me, patted me on the back and said, son, heads up, whenever you use the bathroom, you never piss right beside another man. I've never seen that man ever again, but I thank that man for truly changing my life. But this is one of those rules that once you learn it, never forget it, or else niggas will clown you. Something else that we've all been through in the bathroom, though, is being around that one kid who decides to just pull down his whole pants just to take a little piss in the urinal back in elementary school. You know, brother, this one was horrible. Usually, it will be the special ed kids, but at the same time, it's like, brother, please have some common sense. That's such a great statement. Usually, they would be farting too, and they would just stink. But at the same time, we've all done it when we was younger, and then we had a grown man walk into the bathroom and instruct us to never do that again. And we changed our ways. Something that we haven't. I don't
remember what age I did that, but it was a very, very good thing that I ended up doing. A great change. Because he was just exposed, bro. Think about if Diddy was in that bathroom. I ain't even going to take it there, bro. But yeah, bro.
Guys, it's number 11.
Come on, gotta move smarter.
12. I don't know at this point. Putting your hands in your pants for warmth on an ice cold freezing day. This one I know we've all done. I'm actually doing it right now. I'm not going to lie. And no matter if you want to be honest or deny it, we've all done it. Let's just keep it real. And it's amazing. It's one of the most sensational feelings ever. You get to put your hand next to life.
I do it in the comfort of my own home, but sometimes it was niggas doing that. You know what I'm saying? Waiting for the bus at 7:30, not even 7:30, like 6:50 in the morning, right? And then I go to the bus stop and then they try to dap me up. I'm like, yo, bro, like back up, man. Come on. Like, bro, hit the school, wash your hands, and then you could talk to me, bro, when we in the cafeteria, man, for real. Life
is amazing. I don't know. It's just vibey. Here's the thing with this thing. You got to be very careful where you do this act, because doing it while nobody's around is cool, but if you're in a crowded room, space, and you just got your hands in your pants, like, brother, no cap. That's where the creep allegations come in, and you don't want that. They don't understand, but at the same time, let be classy. But speaking of balls, the next canon event that we've all been through is chilling around the house playing GTA or Fortnite or something, and then all all of a sudden, randomly, you just feel a sharp pain in your balls, and you just start clenching them. You start grabbing them. You start praying to God because you think that you'll never have kids again. You start wondering if you have cancer, or maybe you got an STD, or maybe if you gooned too much. I don't know what you did. And then after it goes away, you immediately get on your knees and pray to God, promising him you would never jerk off again if he heals your pain. And then 3 nights later, you end up jerking off again. But hey, game is game. But after you goon, you get a negative feeling. You feel shame. You promise to God you will never do it again, yet you feel defeated. See, this right here is what we call post-nut clarity, which is the next canon event and probably the most popular one. Because the only time that you won't feel this is after the first one you do. Back when you were most likely younger, which is sick, honestly. It's sad that so many little kids are gooning, but it's whatever, I guess. And after that first goon, you felt alive. You felt like you just discovered the greatest thing on earth. Then
I'm gonna do this again. Great mistake, man. Great mistake. I wish I never made it.
That second one, you really quickly realize that you just formed and started an addiction that you'll be very lucky to get out of. There's downhill, and you just keep on getting more downhill until you eventually stop and become a better human being, which a lot of y'all haven't done. Let's just keep it real. At the same time, though, you will never escape post-nut clarity, even though I had one homie who did it like 10 times a day, and apparently he just stopped having it, but he also looked very depressed, so I think he just had it permanently. You already know what I'm finna say, though. Game is game, jizzle is jizzle, and don't fiddle your pickle. Let's get to it. But it's a part of being a man, and game is game, and that's just how life is. When you retain that, though, you will get superpowers. Powers that would never be feasible to that average gooning man. And you do that as soon as you get into the next canon event, aka semen retention. Every single man has gone through this. I don't care what y'all say. We've all gone through semen retention. We thought that by holding our seed, we would turn into spiritual soul or something. In all reality, you kind of do. I'm not gonna lie. You kind of get superpowers. You feel like you can move mountains, start thinking more clearly, you start getting more ideas. There's really no negative to holding.
I mean, it could be that way unless you're looking at it from the standpoint of, oh, it's been this many, I'm tripping. I can't even talk. It's been this many days since you know what I'm saying? If you're looking at it from that point of view, the whole point of it is to not think about it and do it. But by thinking about it in terms of how far you've gone without doing it, you're thinking about it every day. You know what I'm saying? So you don't even really get out of it. Like, you still thinking about it 24/7. It's all this on your mind, right? I feel like when you just stop doing it and let that be that, and you don't even think about it, that's when you truly feel alive. You reap the benefits. But even then, you know what I'm saying, be them some days, bro, you just get that feeling where you need to just, you mean, yeah, bro. And them days, they inevitably come. But whether or not you decide to act on it, it's up to you. But it'd be hard, bro.
Then we eventually all fail. But at the same time, we keep on going. But the first time you go on this path, you think you're a superior human being, though. You think you're better than everybody because you can hold your seed. And you call all of the regular 1 to 2 time a week gooners peasants in your eyes. You think they're just weak, inferior beings. And that's just how you will think until you eventually become one of them again. Game is game. But the last canon event I want to talk about is video games falling off as you get older. This one's more of a maturity thing. As you get older, I don't know if it's just me, but like, video games just aren't as fun anymore. Like, the only games I play now is NCAA, and it's really just to cool down and just to beat my friends. I'm not gonna lie, I can't get immersed in a game nowadays like I did back when I was younger. Maybe it's because I got responsibilities, or maybe it's just because games fell off. I don't know what it is, but it's kind of sad. Hopefully GTA 6 can bring that back out of me, but so then we will see. But I feel like every man kind of goes through this, and if you didn't, shouts out to you. But hey, go ahead and tell me anything I missed. If you like this video, go tap into my streams. They're very entertaining too. I'll be doing Yaps vlog.
Shout out that boy Cloud, man, for real. That was a lot of canon events. I don't even remember half of them, but I know he was spitting facts with a whole bunch, right? Like he said, if we missed any canon events, make sure to leave them in the comment section down below. While you down there, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. I appreciate y'all watching. We get up out of here, record the next one. So I'll see y'all soon. Love y'all. Peace.